Thanks for coming back. Today is a very important day. The light for the week will burn out in 13 hours. We're also in a great place right now to get a very strong weekly candle close, which could lead to strong price growth for Bitcoin. There is actually some room here for us to breathe. As long as Bitcoin doesn't fall too much, we should be in a great spot for a very strong weekly candle close. There are a few things I'm going to talk about today that will help us get an even better weekly candle close, like the RSI chart for the Ethereum weekly. Price could go up a little more and break through that falling wedge as well as the Bitcoin descending wedge in the RSI. Even though this would be nice to see, it would be good news all around if we could just end this now. Today I'm going to talk about that. We're going to talk about it and then tomorrow we'll look at the findings. That means this one should be short today. We should look at a few things first before we start. BTC and Binx are the two exchanges I talk about on this YouTube account. Both are global and don't require know your customer KYC. Both have money saved up in case something goes wrong. So if they've been hacked before, which BTC hasn't, they have money set aside and pay back people who lost money. In that way, the trades are very safe. Again, selling fees are very low and there is no know your customer KYC around the world. You can get a 15% discount on your trade fees if you use the link below to go to my site. So the low fees you already get on these sites if you use my link to sign up. Every time you buy or sell something, you'll get an extra 15% off. Now that we've talked about the topic, the links are below. The Bitcoin weekly chart will be the first thing we look at. We've had a lot of conversations about this. Based on where we are now, I'm glad that this weekly candle close will likely mark the end of this breakout on the weekly chart RSI. This means we can stop talking about it since we've been talking about the same thing for weeks, but I'm going to bring it up again. We know that Bitcoin has a route that goes down. That's the big picture structure right now. That is a macro pattern that is bullish. It is bullish to see channel patterns that go down. This means that Bitcoin is in a bullish macro shape. Because of this, we are bullish on Bitcoin as a whole, unless that changes. This is the case until Bitcoin breaks down from the channel. If that happens, it will not only break down from the channel, but also from all of these yellow lines and various signs in between. That is if Bitcoin does it. It's over, right? We should be fine until it does that though, which is the main point of view I have right now about Bitcoin. So a rise is what we need to see for that macro bullishness to really take off again. That's why we need proof on the upside. That's why I'm not telling people to buy right now. I really don't think that's the right thing to do. I actually believe it's very important to wait for proof. You do that when you trade, right? This is not a place to play. If we were gamblers, we'd go to the casino to make smart choices. And you need smart choices, or I should say you need proof of macro breaks and macro confirmations. You need facts to help you decide that the choice you're making is the right one. That's what a breakout looks like. There are two things we can look for in a breakout. Another type of breakout we can look for is a change in movement or a breakout on the price chart. The price chart breakout is the most important one. The RSI shows how fast prices are moving. On the RSI weekly chart, we can see that there are very important lines that form, which are called resistance lines. And when they break to the top, the price chart shows very big changes in momentum. So I drew out a few in yellow. This one right here is one of them. We broke it to the upside, which ended the COVID drop and began the 2021 bull market. The bear market ended with this one. There had been 7 months of stabilization before this one. It was the leg that took us to all-time highs. We now have a new pattern on the RSI weekly chart. If we do see a breakout of this pattern, it's likely to also show up on the price chart, just like the old ones. Right now, we're seeing a descending wedge shape, which can be seen on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. It looks a lot like the ascending wedge formation or falling wedge formation we see on Ethereum. We can see that these plots are in fact very well linked right now. Bitcoin also looks like it might break through that wedge to the upside this week, so we can't close. We only need to keep the price where it is or raise it a little, which we can do this week. We may be able to end the week above this wedge shape. I'm not sure what price we need to close at. Where the RSLA goes makes a difference. I believe the amount is around 61K. If we can do that, things will look good for Bitcoin because we will have broken a pattern to the upside and the RSI will show that momentum has changed. And based on what has happened in the past, that will almost certainly cause a change in movement on the price chart. This could then lead to a breakout on the price chart, which is the signal you need to look for. This would be a good sign, but the real cause would be when the price breaks out. Still, it would be a good sign. And the fact that this trend might break to the upside is great news. We'll be sure of it tomorrow. Once more, I'd like to see it on Ethereum too. If Bitcoin breaks the top, but Ethereum doesn't, it will be a little strange. Again, if Ethereum broke through resistance, that would be a sign that, okay, maybe you need a little more proof because those lines do move together. They are linked in a lot of ways. They both give a lot of information about how the other's price will move at different times. So it would be best if both Ethereum and Bitcoin had a rise. But it looks good right now, no matter what. And I'll let you know what happens in tomorrow's movie. There may be some pretty big shocks coming up. That's, a trend that goes all the way back to October. This has been going on for a very long time, almost a year or 11 months. I think this is a great sign that it could break up here. We'll make sure of that tomorrow, how prices will move in the next few months. Because things aren't going too badly. That's not too bad, It has hit resistance. And at 64K, it's a very strong barrier. This is something I said would happen. In my last film, I made it very clear that I expect a short-term rejection from 65K to 64K. That's why I put that pink line there. That's where the 200-day semi is. A clear sign of resistance can be seen right there on top of 64K, where the green moving average is shown on the screen. The volume profile also shows a spike. This is a very important resistance mark that will be hard to break through. I still think there will be a retracement, probably going down to this yellow rising support line. I thought that would happen yesterday, for Bitcoin to get stronger so that it might try again. That's still what I think is most likely to happen. There is some merging going on right now. Right now we might be putting together a system to try again. But in the end, I think the best thing for Bitcoin to do right now is to go back to the baseline support and try to confirm the upward trend again. I see the same thing now as I did yesterday. This area doesn't have a lot of strength or a lot of it in the short-term charts. Strength in the middle term is definitely there. I don't think it's there yet in the short run though. So don't be surprised if you need to take a short break here. We might be late by a few days. So don't be shocked if you see that. The medium-term strength looks great overall. That is, if we look at their RSI daily chart. And we'll make sure of this again tomorrow. But breaking through the resistance zone, going back, seeing the resistance support turn, and hopefully staying at that level. We should see a big jump if we do that, right? That is all there is to it. In the middle run, things look pretty good. There is also bullish split. The RSI's lows are going up. That's right, the RSI has lower lows now. The price chart should show the opposite, right? Prices have hit lower lows in the last wave on the chart. As for an analysis that isn't linked to